Part 1. The Stone of Tyr and the Breaking of Stasis. At the beginning of the Shadow Rising, the characters stand in the uneasy calm that follows the seismic events at the end of The Dragon Reborn. Rand al'Thor has taken Kalendor from the heart of the stone and fulfilled one of the central prophecies, naming him the Dragon Reborn. The Stone of Tyr, long thought impregnable, has fallen in a single night. Word spreads across the Westlands that prophecy has been fulfilled. The world has not ended, but it has undeniably changed. Nations begin maneuvering, Aes Sedai whisper among themselves, and ordinary people react with equal parts hope and dread. Rand himself feels no triumph. Instead, he feels trapped. Kalendor proves both a weapon and a symbol. It confirms his identity beyond doubt, yet it also paints a target on him. He is surrounded by Tyr's High Lords, Aiel warriors, Aes Sedai, and childhood friends, all watching him with different expectations. Everyone wants something from the Dragon Reborn: obedience, leadership, salvation, or control. Rand increasingly senses that every conversation is a test or manipulation. The loneliness of command sets in early. Moiraine watches him with careful patience, but even she seems less certain than before. The pattern is accelerating. Prophecy unfolds too quickly to guide comfortably. She can advise Rand, but she can no longer shepherd him. Tension spikes when a bubble of evil strikes inside the stone itself. Objects come alive. Playing cards slash like blades. Furniture attacks servants. Reflections move independently. The attack feels random and intimate, as though reality itself has begun to unravel around Rand. It underscores a crucial idea. The Dark One's touch is no longer distant or symbolic. It seeps into everyday life. Rand attempts to use Kalendor against this threat and nearly loses control, channeling wildly. The sword magnifies his power beyond safety, revealing itself as deeply flawed. It lacks the buffer normally present in Seangril. The experience frightens him. He realizes that Kalendor is not simply a tool, but a risk, one that could destroy everything if he makes a mistake. For the first time, he truly understands Lews Therin's madness not as legend, but as looming inevitability. At the same time, political and personal tensions force decisions. The Aiel, who have accompanied Rand since Falme and Tear, watch him with fierce interest. They speak of prophecies naming the Kara Karn, the chief of chiefs, who will lead them to glory and disaster. They believe Rand may be this figure. Rand learns that answers about his heritage lie not in the wetlands, but in the Aiel Waste, their harsh homeland across the spine of the world. Moiraine urges him to go. Tear has become stagnant and dangerous. Staying means becoming a pawn for Tyr's nobility or the White Tower. Movement offers possibility. Thus, the company fractures once more. Rand, Moiraine, Egwene, Mat, and several Aiel, including Ruark and the fierce maiden Avienda, prepare to cross into the waste. Perrin, meanwhile, faces news that pulls him in the opposite direction. Two Rivers refugees bring rumors of White Cloak occupation and Trolloc raids back home. For the first time, one of them will return not to chase destiny, but to protect family. The story splits decisively. Rand marches toward ancient prophecy, while Perrin turns back toward the place they once thought the whole world. Part 2. Perrin's Return Home. Perrin Ibarra's storyline begins almost quietly, but soon becomes one of the novel's most emotionally grounded arcs. Unlike Rand's mythic trajectory, or the Aes Sedai intrigues elsewhere, Perrin's path leads back to ordinary people: farmers, villagers, craftsmen. Yet what he finds there proves just as consequential. Accompanied by Fail, Loyal, and a few others, Perrin travels back to the two rivers expecting simple trouble. Instead, he finds transformation. The White Cloaks have established a heavy-handed presence, suspicious and authoritarian. Worse, Trollocs and Myrddraal stalk the countryside openly. Farms burn at night. Families vanish. The two rivers, once isolated and peaceful, has become a contested borderland. The shift hits Perrin hard. He had always thought of home as fixed and timeless. Seeing it broken feels like a personal failure. He had gone off to become a hero of legend, while his own people suffered. Mat might have run from such responsibility. Rand would view it through the lens of prophecy. Perrin reacts differently. He simply refuses to abandon them. At first, villagers view him as a curiosity. Stories of the dragon reborn and distant battles have reached even here, and Perrin's yellow wolf eyes unsettle them. Yet gradually, they begin turning to him for leadership. He tries to resist. He insists he is no lord, no general. But leadership gathers around him naturally, the same way it does around Rand. The difference is that Perrin never wants power. He accepts it only because someone must. The White Cloaks complicate matters. They accuse Perrin of dark friendship and witchcraft, citing his eyes and his connection to wolves. Their commander, Bornhald, suspects Perrin of crimes he cannot prove. Their presence creates constant tension. Perrin must fight Trollocs while also avoiding open war with armed allies. Fail becomes essential here. She pushes Perrin to stop thinking of himself as merely a blacksmith's apprentice. In Saldea, she explains, leaders lead because people need them. Whether or not Perrin wants the role is irrelevant. Her fierce confidence and emotional bluntness counterbalance Perrin's self-doubt. Their relationship deepens into partnership rather than flirtation. As attacks intensify, Perrin organizes defenses, trains villagers, coordinates messengers, and forges alliances with surrounding settlements. He transforms the scattered two rivers into a community capable of resistance. The blacksmith becomes a general almost by accident. The cost becomes painfully personal when Perrin discovers that Trollocs murdered his family. The loss is devastating, hollowing him out with grief and guilt. For a time he considers reckless vengeance, yet the wolves remind him that rage leads only to death. Slowly, he channels that grief into protection instead of destruction. The climax comes when Shadowspawn launch a massive assault on Emond's Field itself. Perrin stands at the center of the defense, fighting with hammer and axe, wolves at his side. The battle is desperate and chaotic. Ordinary villagers hold the line through sheer stubbornness. When it ends, the two rivers has survived. But Perrin is no longer just Perrin. He is their lord in everything but title. The boy who once wanted only a quiet life has become something far larger. Part 3. The Road to the Waste. While Perrin fights for home, Rand journeys into lands completely alien to him. Crossing the spine of the world feels symbolic, like passing from one age into another. The Aiel Waste is harsh, sun-scorched, and brutally honest. Nothing grows easily. Nothing survives without strength. For the Aiel, suffering is not tragedy, but teacher. Rand quickly realizes that everything he thought he knew about the Aiel is incomplete. Wetlander stories paint them as savage raiders. In truth, their culture is intricate and governed by Jieto, a complex system of honor and obligation. Honor shapes every action. Shame carries tangible consequences. Their society values strength and honesty, but also humor and loyalty. Among them, Rand feels strangely at ease. They treat him not as a king or messiah, but as a man being tested. If he is the Kara Karn, he must prove it. Matt accompanies him reluctantly, still insisting he wants nothing to do with prophecy. Yet, the Waste begins working on him too. His luck grows even more pronounced. Dice seem to rattle in his head whenever fate approaches a turning point. He jokes constantly, but beneath the humor lies unease. Something is happening to him that he cannot control. Egwene, meanwhile, begins training with the Wise Ones, Aiel women who can channel or walk dreams. Unlike the White Tower's rigid hierarchy, the Wise Ones teach through endurance and self-knowledge. Egwene thrives. She learns to enter Tel'aran'rhiod deliberately, mastering the dream world more fully than most Aes Sedai. Her confidence grows. She begins seeing herself not as apprentice, but as equal. The party finally reaches Ruidaean, the forbidden city where Aiel chiefs and Wise Ones undergo testing. Here the novel reaches one of its most powerful sequences. Rand enters the glass column's ter'angreal and experiences the past, not as history, but as lived memory. He witnesses the Aiel's origins, once peaceful servants of the Aes Sedai called Dashain Aiel, sworn to the way of the leaf and absolute nonviolence. During the breaking, they carried precious artifacts across a shattered world. Gradually, hardship and betrayal stripped away their pacifism. Generation by generation, they became warriors. The truth is devastating. The proud, fierce Aiel are descendants of forgotten pacifists. These visions break their entire cultural myth. Rand emerges understanding both his heritage and theirs. The Aiel are tied to him more deeply than anyone suspected. He accepts the title of Kara Karn, not as conqueror, but as truth-bringer. But truth hurts. Many Aiel cannot accept the revelations. Some will follow him. Others will rebel. Prophecy has consequences. Part 4. Mat's Bargain and the Gathering Storm. While Rand and Egwene undergo transformation, Mat's storyline takes a stranger, more surreal turn. Inside Ruidaean, Mat accidentally enters a twisted redstone doorway Ter'angreal, encountering the mysterious fox-like Aelfin. These beings answer 3 questions truthfully but cryptically. Mat asks about the dagger, about the future, and about how to escape Aes Sedai manipulation. The answers are riddles that offer little comfort. Later, he enters a second doorway and meets the snake-like Aelfin, who grant wishes at terrible cost. Mat demands memories of battle and a way to be free of Aes Sedai control. The result is grotesque and transformative. He receives implanted memories from countless dead soldiers and generals, and they hang him to death before reviving him with a fox-head medallion that protects him from the One Power. He stumbles out changed. Where once he relied only on luck, he now carries the tactical knowledge of centuries. His personality remains irreverent, but something sharper hides behind it. He has become a general without meaning to. These strange gifts feel less like blessings than debts. Meanwhile, Rand emerges from Ruidaean publicly acknowledged as Kara Karn. Many Aiel rally to him. Others, like Couladin, reject him and claim leadership through false dragons tattooed on their arms. Civil conflict brews immediately. The unity Rand hoped to create fractures. Moiraine recognizes the pattern. Every victory breeds new dangers. The Shadow does not need to defeat Rand directly if it can divide those who follow him. Yet despite uncertainty, Rand makes a crucial decision. He will not hide or wait. He will use the Aiel to move against the Shadow proactively. Instead of reacting, he will strike. For the first time, he acts like a commander rather than a frightened shepherd. Part 5. Victory and Cost. 2 Rivers and the Waste. The novel's final movements intercut Perrin's defense of the two rivers with Rand's consolidation of the Aiel. In the two rivers, the climactic battle solidifies Perrin's transformation. Trollocs assault Eamon's field in overwhelming numbers, but Perrin's preparations pay off. Villagers fight with discipline. Wolves join the fray. Fail stands at his side. When the White Cloaks finally witness Perrin's defense of the people, their certainty about his supposed evil falters. Afterward, the two rivers folk quietly acknowledge him as Lord. Perrin resists the title, but it no longer matters. Leadership has claimed him. In the Waste, Rand faces political victory rather than open battle. He reveals the Aiel's true history publicly, shattering old lies. Some clans accept him, others fracture. The Shido break away under Couladin, setting up future wars. Rand realizes that truth alone cannot unite people. Change brings pain. Leadership means carrying that pain. The novel closes with the world wider and more complicated than ever. Perrin has become the Wolf Lord of the two rivers. Egwene has stepped beyond novicehood into dream-walking power. Mat carries memories of ancient wars. Rand commands the Aiel, but understands that every step toward prophecy costs something human. The Shadow has not been defeated, but neither are they children anymore. The game has grown larger than any of them ever imagined, and the wheel keeps turning.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos.